darling, you're going to be the death of me. Yeah, but what a lovely way to go, huh?
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and slowly peel open your trapper keepers. I am Chris, and I am here with Professor Hootie.
What's up, fellas? Happy Friday the 13th.
Came around quick, man. We just had one of these things. What's going on? The calendar is like the Mayan calendar or something. Something's about to end. I don't know.
Satanic Panic.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. We have time travel back to 1983. We are also joined by Papa Voorhees, Professor Joy, a.k.a. Dr. Nasty.
Oh, buddy's back. He's the man behind the mask. What the hell has been going on lately with these horror movie bangers we've been exposed to?
That was a weird ass song I was not exposed. Was it original?
It's an original by Alice Cooper. Look, a while back we had Dream Warriors, right? Then we got Pet Sematary.
That was
Alice Cooper.
Top.
Dude, we're starting to get spoiled here.
We're just getting warmed up, Hootie. You just wait till we get to I don't know what's new.
You wait
cool
for
these days.
Bentley to come out with a fucking song for the next Halloween movie.
Oh, that's going to be the shit. Killing and chilling. Some days you just killing. Isn't that like a fucking good country song, baby?
Is that Sammy Kershaw song? Just grilling and chilling.
See, there you go.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
You are all welcome.
Little bit of vomit there, but that's okay. All right, before we dive into it, I got 3 little news tidbits here. Thought we might find interesting to discuss. I don't know if you guys have heard about this one, but there is a new Dexter series in the works called Dexter Original Sin, a prequel series where Michael C. Hall will be the inner voice of young Dexter.
Do we have to do this?
What the fuck? Didn't they just get done with Dexter Ice Age, or whatever the fuck it was called?
Yeah.
Ice Age.
What the fuck is that shit?
What is that shit? Romano's walking
What is
around.
that shit from Tropic Thunder? Dexter, global cooldown, or no, global meltdown.
Damn, I cannot think of the title now that you said that. I was going to say Frozen Empire.
Here we go
again.
Again.
Damn it, you're just making me look like an idiot. I really can't think of the subtitle of that new series.
I'm telling you, it had something to do with ice.
Frozen Blood, New Blood, Cold Blood.
Cold Blood actually sounds all right.
That would have been all right. I don't think it was
All
that
right,
good.
that might have been. You might have got a credit, coming up with that before that series took off. I never finished it, so don't spoil it.
I think I was watching football on Sunday, and I saw a trailer for that show, and it just looks awful, man.
I hadn't seen any footage. I just know it exists. Like Young Sheldon or whatever the fuck. Like, what are we doing? We need prequels for TV shows now.
Well, that one got a prequel to the prequel with Will Sasso, and any work for Will Sasso.
What, Buggy? Young Sheldon? Were they going to show him as a sperm?
No, it's they're going back.
Like a fucking really he's the smartest sperm in the ball sack?
Even further
Is
back.
that his fucking...
There was a spin-off where his brother and his wife got married or something. All I know is Will Sasso is in it.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Okay. Eventually, they're going to go back to the actual Big Bang. Like, that's the prequel to the prequel to the prequel.
But the trailer for Dexter showed Christian Slater, and the next frame showed Sarah Jessica Parker. No, this ain't.
What the
Goodness
hell? What's Christian Slater doing?
I think he plays Harry.
Oh, Jesus. Mr. Robot was great, but Jesus.
They finally let Sarah Jessica Parker off the fucking farm.
That's what I
Bitch has been looking like Seabiscuit for the past fucking 20 years.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute.
Appearance.
She looked great in Footloose.
Yes. It's the other one.
It's Matthew Broderick's wife? Ex-wife?
It's not that one. It's the other 3-name lady. Freddie P's wife.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
There we go. Sorry.
Well,
wow.
I think that
I
know what you did last
night
summer.
and day.
Reheat might come back.
They're both not
Dude,
great.
hell no. Dude, that's fucking... That's literally toilet water and caviar.
All right, moving on. This is more for me than for you two, but putting it out there. Nosferatu is getting an official popcorn bucket. The Sarcophagus popcorn collectible is coming soon to your local movie theaters. Is there anything we can't make into a popcorn bucket at this point?
What is it?
Sarcophagus.
It's a sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus.
Popcorn.
You ever seen
It's
those?
a coffin.
You ever seen those coffins that like pharaohs and stuff of Egypt are entombed in?
Like the metal. It's like metal entombed. You slide it off and it holds the popcorn inside the coffin.
And do you want to eat popcorn out of that thing?
But it's
we
actually
could eat popcorn out of anything,
It's
dude.
actually metal.
I don't know. I didn't get a visual of it. I just saw that it's coming. I feel like they're turning everything into a popcorn bucket. What's the most creative one we could come up with? Maybe that's like a project for every new movie we cover. We have to design a popcorn bucket for that movie.
It's got to be. Oh, that's actually a good idea. It's got to be.
Look at that merch, just spinning out merch like it's nothing.
It's got to be a franchise. Like Alien did a great job because there's so much cool shit within the universe that you can make a popcorn bucket out of.
Yeah, the face hugger was banging.
Dude, imagine if you stuck your hand in a face hugger, and that's where the popcorn was, like the end of the ass of the face hugger. Oh.
What if you had to put it on your face to eat the popcorn?
Cool.
What if they had a sex toy?
Like for the whole movie,
literally a
it
face
sticks to your
hugger.
face. It was just butter getting injected in your mouth. That would be the shit.
Some would call that a feeding tube, but
yeah, this is true. They say if you're brave enough, anything is a dildo if you're brave enough. So I think anything is a popcorn bucket now. If you can imagine it.
Those are words to live by.
Just remember that every time you see it. If you're brave enough, everything's a dildo.
Everything's a popcorn.
All right, last one. This one cracking me up. I wanted to put it out there into the universe. Popeye. Hold on.
Get through it.
The Sailor Man?
Popeye the Slayer Man.
Oh, God. What are these fucking things?
Yes.
Is a new horror movie exploring an alternate backstory for the legendary sailor set in an abandoned spinach canning factory. The film releases in 2025.
Freddy Krueger in a bowling room?
Imagine this motherfucker with them big ass anchor arms just smashing people's fucking skulls in.
The Slayer Man. That's 20 comedy points for whoever came up with that
Pretty
title.
good. Not bad.
What if it's like a Robin Williams impersonator who was playing Popeye?
Oh, Jesus. Hoodie's going to make it depressing now. We got to
saying.
resurrect Robin Williams with AI now.
It's going to be garbage either way. So.
How do you get cast in that? Imagine like the casting call for that.
Are they excited to get that call?
Yeah, I'll fucking take it, I guess. It's got to be one of the stuntmen who's done like, who's that one guy? He had done Leatherface.
No, brother.
He's done
J.K. Simmons as Popeye.
Damn, I take
He would
that.
do a lot of shit.
He would destroy
Elevate
as
it.
Popeye.
It'd be the next Terrifier series. All right, without further ado, today's assignment is from 1986, a little mandatory assignment given the holiday on the horizon. Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. Today's lesson. If you think it's hard to keep a good man down, try keeping down a bad one.
God almighty.
Awful, dude.
No, it's the fucking best, bro. We're about to
That's
have
worse
a
than the damn
good time
Santa
with this one.
Claus tagline Hootie has behind him right now.
I can repeat that on a hot mic.
Hey, can you please repeat the
Read that poster
tagline for
behind
the
you to me
Santa
right
Claus starring Tim Allen poster that you have behind you?
Well,
From
before we got on,
2001 or whatever it was.
I think it's 96.
Jesus.
They don't. So the tagline is Scott Calvin must become Santa. No ifs or ands. Just one big butt.
And in the movie poster, he has a ginormous ass.
Big booty Tim Allen right
And
there.
that's
on the
why
He got
it's the
that, what they
Santa
call that,
Claus.
the young people call the big back.
Santa Claus, not Santa Claus the person, Santa Claus the claws.
Boom.
All right, I'm bowing out. On that one, the reins are handed to you, Mr. Nasty.
All right, fellas. I want to take a cue from you guys. I think you guys have been starting off with a little positivity, right?
Yeah, that's what life's all about.
Let's go that route. Man by the name of Nick Mikulek, back on November 2nd of 1998. This review comes by way of IMDb, as we are prone to do. The best F-13 sequel to date. In my honest opinion, this is the best sequel to date. Tommy is the best in this one, because he's not some weakling geek like in the past two films. This one has a great storyline, some good death scenes, and some cool special effects for Jason's return from the dead. C.J. Graham plays one of the best Jasons and is right up there with Kane Hodder. Plus the songs from Alice Cooper makes this a great one overall. Although the death scenes may not be as elaborate as those in some others, this one is a good one overall. And it's good at the end of the show that he's still alive, so to speak. Long live the man behind the mask. Jason and the song. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I know why he's throwing shade on Corey Feldman. He was a child.
He's a fucking weakling. He's a pathetic little 12-year-old.
I mean, he got in Jason's ass, the little guy
I'll
did.
say, I think, yeah, he did more damage than any adult has.
Honestly, I would probably say that Thom Matthews as
It's Tom.
It's
you
Thom,
asshole.
bitch. He spells his name funny.
He does.
But yeah, Thom, I think he's fine, but he's probably the worst rendition of Tom.
Fair enough, but he has the coolest look. I
He
think.
does. He does look like he looks like a hero.
Made me
Wait.
want to root for Tommy and borrow that damn jacket while I was at it.
I gotta pause that. You think this guy is worse than the guy from the fifth one?
Oh,
As an actor?
100%.
Yeah.
Like as an actor?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
The
it's
dude from
night
the fifth one
and
was
day.
going for it, bro.
He was in a different
John
movie, in
Shepard
my
fucking
opinion.
killed it.
He was
John
going for- he
Shepard
wouldn't have been a
killed
damn
that
Oscar.
movie. Like he was so good as like a somebody who was literally tortured by
Yeah.
visions of a crazed madman. Like I thought he was great. I really like John Shepard. I mean, the fifth movie doesn't really have very many redeeming qualities. We've already talked about it. But John Shepard, he wasn't a negative in my opinion.
The boy tried. I think before we get away from the title of the movie, something we should reiterate here. How terrifying would it have been to see the poster back in the day when it would have possibly said Friday the 13th, Part 6, Josh lives.
Dude, I was like, it's like I'm
Imagine
going
that
in there with a
fucking
hard dick and it just goes flaccid. As soon as I read
Josh
Josh
lives.
lives as opposed to Jason lives.
Okay.
Ugh.
There's no way this franchise made it this far with Josh as the killer.
It's that one small decision just changed everything. Josh lives.
Terrible.
I've also met a lot more people named Josh than Jason in my life.
I like the name is synonymous now with the zombified freak that we know.
Yeah, I feel like Jason does have like evil undertones. Like I've never met a Jason who wasn't an asshole. All right, and for every positive review, we also got a negative review. And this one comes by way of Blue Stick in July of 1999, titled "Please Stop." I wish the makers of this movie I wish the makers of this movie could have made something else. What? I gotta start over. This motherfucker, the way he words
Coulda,
his
woulda.
shit, it's like he's dyslexic or something.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
I'm gonna give him a little bit of. I'm gonna give him some common courtesy and actually make it where it makes sense. I wish the makers of this movie could have made something else. What kind of franchise is this? 9 sequels? Please. This movie still offers nothing new but the same old crap. Jason, of course, lives and kills. The end does not seem to be the end of this trash, but it's not. He words it so fucking terribly. Great fake, huh? You've got to wonder how someone could take all that pain. I would have butted out and caught it even. The producers didn't think this was a good idea. If you want my advice, just watch Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Try to say to yourself, it's the last movie. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives.
F.
First official F, right?
Yeah, he preceded us. He's our prequel for how to grade movies, apparently.
It's a little aggressive.
It's a little aggressive. It's a little fucking... It's like somebody took a shotgun and just shot words at a screen. This was a fucking mess of a review.
You had to highlight the fact that there are 9 sequels. This was written in the 90s, right?
Yeah, it was written in
He
99.
didn't even know.
And it was talking
He
about
didn't
the
even know,
9
like,
sequels. He didn't know that there
how
was
many
like
Halloweens were
3
coming.
others coming.
He didn't even know. Like, this is standard fare at this point.
So was
Like,
that
how many... We're going to have 5 Terrifier movies in a couple of years.
God, help us all.
Think about that.
Was that before Jason X then? Probably.
Being right around there, yeah. So we said
Wow.
9 sequels, that would be 10, right?
9 sequels.
It's technically what the title.
Well, the
is.
way this
1 plus
person is
9
like
10.
talking, like maybe by sequels they actually mean just 9 movies in general. But then again, I think Jason X, like that probably came out
Late
right around
90s.
Scream, right? Like with the boom.
So like 96 would be my guess.
Probably the same year Leprechaun went to space.
Jason X,
They
2001.
all-
Damn.
Yeah, 2001.
Futuristic.
You know David Cronenberg was in that movie?
David Cronenberg, the director?
He actually played a character in the movie.
Oh, shit. He must have just been on set when they
Dr.
were shooting it.
Weimer. I think he just probably owed the director a favor. He said, "Hey, I'll just go ahead and I'll go ahead and show up.
Slap my mug on
I'll
there.
show up for this one day of filming."
Hell of a favor.
But yeah, that wraps up the reviews. Let's talk about the director, Tom McLaughlin. I got here he was a former mime, son of a magician.
He was a mime?
Yeah, he's a former mime, like a physical performer.
I had written down, directed by and written by Tom McLaughlin, who was known for absolutely
That's what
nothing
I'm
else.
saying. It's like to talk about this man is to talk about
Whoa.
some pretty
Bare bones.
pretty not very noteworthy credits. I mean, I'm sure
What are you offended
Hootie's going
about,
to
Hootie?
contradict.
What are you offended about?
I did some deep dives here for you.
No,
boys,
go ahead. I
okay?
got a few too. Go ahead. Go for it.
Did he do
Okay.
some of the
I'll
Santa
pass
Claus
the
sequels that
bucket
I'm
to
just
you.
not aware of?
He did Santa Claus 3, okay, Attack of Jack Frost, whatever the fuck it was called.
Yes.
He did the TV film that I think came after it, which is Sometimes They Come Back, Stephen King feature, and
Universally
a movie
panned.
and a movie I figured Joey has on Blu-ray, DVD, maybe Steelbook. I'm not sure. Cyber Seduction, His Secret Life.
Is that a Lifetime movie? What the hell is that?
It looked like it had a really bad DVD cover, whatever it was.
Josh Lives. Throw that on the end of everything. It makes it even more terrifying.
And apparently, they approached him to direct this film, and he watched the first 5 films back to back to back to help him create and write the 6th installment. And his idea, after watching these all together, was that this film needed more comedy, and that he feels like he achieved that.
A little too dark for Mr. McLaughlin.
Let's see. Outside of that, like he actually was an actor too. He appeared in Critters 2, The Main Course.
The main course. I love
main
the
course.
shitty subtitles.
Yeah, he also directed like a few other things, like some episodes of the Friday the 13th series and Freddy's Nightmare.
Has anybody ever watched
One of
any
those.
of those?
Dude, they popped up so frequently. I haven't watched any like the series outside of Tales from the Crypt. Like I watched those.
I've never heard anyone like mention a word about any of these tentpole franchises that have these random serialized short stories or whatever the hell they are.
I think that might be an answer.
But they're doing a Crystal Lake TV series now, correct?
Supposedly.
A24 is supposed to help push along.
He got canceled, and then he got brought back.
People are hungry for the mass machete man.
But outside of the director, Tom, obviously you talk about Friday the 13th. You got to talk about Harry Manfredini. He's back again. His score is more. It's more of the same, but I think it's actually a little bit more suspenseful, like in certain moments, like throughout the movie. Like they definitely ratchet up the tension.
It was less reliant on some of like the old tricks. It seemed like less of the Kiki Mama. At least I remember it being way more prominent in the earlier movies. Like he was trying something new here. It seems maybe trying to match the tone of the piece.
But outside of Harry, I mean, how do we feel about the special effects in the movie? Let's go ahead and get this out of the way.
There's a lot of cutaways.
A lot of cutaways, right? I don't think there was a lot of like leg room for Brian Wade and Martin Becker, or the two who are responsible for like special effects and special effects makeup, to like really stretch their fucking legs and just go whole hog in on this bitch. You know what I mean?
The setups are nice though. I could see a version of it where they were pretty gnarly, but like every time you get one set up, you get to like a centimeter of execution, and then we get the cuts to somebody's leg dangling or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
As the audience is dying to know, yes, I did rent this film again from the public library with our tax dollars.
Mm-hmm. Is it called renting or is it borrowing?
Checking out.
Borrowed.
I'm not sure. Checking out sounds weird for a public library, but it had the making of, and supposedly there were multiple scenes in this film. I don't want to speak to them until we get to them. That they had made these intricate special effects happen with decapitations and whatnot, and the MPAA supposedly made them cut them all out. Yeah.
At this point, you're like in your bag for this franchise. How many gory, disgusting kills have we seen over the last 5 movies?
I feel like Part 5 also had a similar issue that they tried to. I don't know how much is
just shit the bed altogether.
I don't know how much is truth and how much is them just trying to cover their ass.
Right. How much of this is like, we can kind of sweep this under the pretense of we were so badass and over the top that they just slapped the handcuffs on. Blame it on the MPAA, the boogeyman.
Yeah, I think at this point it was one of those things of you kind of accept defeat and you just, all right, we're going to bend to their will and just try to make a movie that can make some money and isn't going to like just upset everybody. But yeah, moving on to interesting factoids. You guys, I'm going to let you take the reins on this before I start just like spitting all over the mic with some of these
Eminem.
Some of these pretty interesting tidbits.
I got hot fire. I'll kick us off. This one I thought was pretty interesting. I guess it's something I didn't expect going into the movie, but In the year since its release, its self-referential humor and instances of breaking the fourth wall have been praised for a pre-configuration of Kevin Williamson's Scream series.
Yeah, I think he's quoted as saying he took a lot of inspiration from this movie.
Yeah, I was not expecting to hear that, coming out of a franchise that's 6 movies in at this point.
Did you more so, did you even expect to see it when you watched it? Haven't heard that.
I did not. I feel like, I know we talk about watching these movies as kids, and it's like almost in a fugue state. Like you can barely remember pieces of them because you haven't seen them in 30 years or whatever. But I feel like I had never seen a frame of this movie before.
I was right there with you.
No, I didn't have a single memory. It was all fresh to me. So you put that in combination with the meta, the humor elements. It felt like a new experience, honestly, of the franchise. It was refreshing. Do you remember watching this, Joy?
I remember bits and pieces of the movie, but it is one of those. Like I remember the opening. I remember the scene with the machete during the paintball because it's such a strange scene to be in a Friday the 13th movie. We're gonna talk about it a little bit later when we get there. I remember Jason standing on the RV because it's like one of the coolest fucking shots.
What a shot. You remember this from like when we were children?
Oh no! I remember from like seeing it like later on in life. I haven't watched this one in a long time. It's been.
I feel like this one doesn't get the same kind of, I don't know, flowers I guess I would expect. Like as a kid, I remember pieces from everyone we've seen so far. I remember pieces of Goes to Manhattan, of course. I remember Jason Goes to Hell, parts of it. Jason X, but this one completely brand new.
There's a big reason I think this movie wasn't
part of the rotation.
Wasn't part of the rotation in our household. And I'm going to go ahead and spoil that right now. This is the first and only film in the series to contain absolutely zero nudity.
No nudity.
There is no tits. There is no ass in this movie at all.
That's a formula for being a box office bomb.
Yeah, especially in this genre at this time. Which is interesting because I guess if you want like inside baseball for how Joey and I grew up, our uncle like literally bought every movie on VHS pretty much every week. So we had like a library at our uncle's where we could watch any of this crazy R-rated shit. So maybe he just skimmed on this one because there's no titties in that one. So maybe he doesn't own this one.
Do you imagine going to like, your job and you're talking to your buddy? Hey man, seen the Friday the 13th? Yeah, there wasn't no tits and ass in it.
That's all I need in that review. Moving on.
That's it.
I'm waiting for part 7. Here's something else I thought was kind of interesting. The decision to retcon the events of Part 5 resulted in many members of that film's cast having their contracts to return for a sequel terminated. So some people actually lost a job due to the change in the plot there. So at one point in time, when this movie was being considered as a direct sequel to New Beginning, Pam and Reggie from the last movie were supposed to come back and to have died in the film's opening moments. Put them right out of a job.
And this film, spoiler alert, doesn't acknowledge how the last installment ended.
Yeah, from what I understand, it doesn't acknowledge anything about it at all, honestly.
I kind of respect Tom McLaughlin for doing that. Because it was going to go in a direction that I don't think would have been beneficial for the franchise, because it's like, nobody wants to see Michael Myers' fucking niece going around killing people. Nobody gives a shit about Jamie, all right? They don't give a fuck about Tommy.
People love Jamie.
They don't give shit about Corey Feldman. They want to see.
Can't be shitting on Halloween here.
They want to see
Jason. Halloween, I feel like they are the only franchise that set that plot twist up and actually iterated on it going forward.
Well,
they deal with that.
It took them a long fucking time.
No, she's in the next one. It's the same actress.
Well, I'm talking about actually
They don't ignore.
I'm talking about the remake, the trilogy remake.
Oh god, you talking about like the 3 timelines now? Fuck all that. Yeah. I ain't got time for all that.
Is she in H2O? That's all that matters.
God damn it, Odie, she's not in H2O.
There we go.
The underwater timeline, that's when everything got really fucking reset.
Man's gonna be underwater, dog. No, you crazy.
No,
you crazy, Billy Ray.
Here's another one for you. The original cut of the film contained 13 killings as an in joke, but in order to appease the studio, McLaughlin had to add 3 more killings, bringing the total up to 16. So Martin the Gravedigger and that engaged couple just thrown in at the last minute.
The engaged couple is the exact kills I thought was included, because that made no sense.
Random, right? It's like, okay, just throw carnage candy. Let's get them in here.
They just out in the woods fucking.
Ain't nothing like some fucking to get you killed with no nudity.
A lot of
Last note I got here, a novelization of Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. I love saying that. It was written by Simon Hawke in 1986. Notably, in the novelization, we have an appearance by Mr. Voorhees, Jason's father, who was originally meant to appear in the film but was cut. Papa Voorhees is out there.
The DVD, I'm sure Blu-ray as well, has a animated rendition of the director's intended ending.
An animated? Is it like
because it was never shot.
Actually moving images?
It's
or like storyboarded
with voiceover work.
I thought you meant like a fucking anime, like a cartoon. That'd be bad.
Dude, how cool would that be? That scene from fucking Kill Bill.
Yeah,
but it's like
I want to see Jason fucking anime now.
Basically, the gravedigger was not supposed to die, supposed to live, and Jason's dad comes to see the empty grave of Mrs. Voorhees and Jason, and the caregiver says he's sorry. Mr.
Yeah, I think what I read was essentially when Tommy comes to town, he confronts him like, why wasn't Jason cremated? And the story was somebody paid for him to be buried, like intentionally. And the thread at the end of the movie was it was the dad who paid for him to be buried.
When the man comes around.
The man in the fucking mask. Just like Scooby-Doo, it's always the man in the mask.
That's a point until we watched this film and did the research. The dad's never brought up.
Did they mention him at all in Pamela's setup in the OG? Is she like a single mom? Is that?
No, I don't think he's ever brought up at all. Like, I don't even think it's part of the mythos whatsoever. It's like almost like
maybe his name is Josh.
His dad is the devil.
You mean Josh Voorhees? Joshua Sr.? Before we forget, I love throwing these out here. Box office numbers: $19.5 million versus a $3 million budget. Talk about box office poison, Hootie. Looks like they didn't need titties for this one.
Well, this was the first time in the history of the franchise that didn't crack 20 million.
Oh, Chris, got him.
Brother,
pie to face.
It made fucking 6 times its budget.
You just got teabagged.
I felt it a little bit. I need to trim them nuts up.
Dude, it's also the first film in the series to not take the top spot at the U.S. box office in its opening weekend.
Joey just dicked on it twice.
Yeah.
Well, look what it was coming off of. All the goodwill had been fucking destroyed in part 5.
What came out in 86 that would have took the top spot?
You did.
I did. Right. Oh, fucking man. Holy
Top
shit.
Gun. Top Gun might have been 87.
Who do you want to chime in on
that's
this
all
thing?
I got. Hootie, what you got?
So if anybody lives in Atlanta, Georgia, listens to our show, this film
37.
was made at
Shout out.
Daniel Morgan, and I don't think it was named after the Carolina Panthers linebacker, but it could have been.
Of course it was.
In Covington, Georgia. Covington is a suburb about 30 minutes outside of Atlanta.
Shout out ATL. It's the LA of the East Coast these days.
And my other note, and then I will be done. After becoming a born-again Christian, John Shepard, who starred in as Tommy in Friday the 13th in the beginning, did not want to
Oscar-winning performance.
Did not want to reprise. Well, quite literally, did not want to reprise the role, and it went to Thom Matthews instead.
If you motherfuckers keep calling this guy Thom,
Dude, I don't want to call him Thom the whole fucking time.
It's Thomas without the us. It's Tom, motherfucker.
Thom, baby.
It ain't my fault. He trying to be highfalutin and putting the fucking H in Tom.
Fucking highfalutin. Pretty good.
He became like a preacher.
He was born again Christian.
He
just redevoted himself to Christ our Lord.
From what I read, he went to like the theology school. Like
oh
he
shit!
Went
So he actually went
to be educated.
He might have went to join the clergy.
From what I
Yeah, that's
understand,
what I was wondering.
he went down to the river and started singing. Okay, are you
Looking up to
washed? Are
geology.
you washed in the
When
blood?
Jesus
in the blood?
washed, you washed my
Down to the
sins
river to
away.
pray.
Oh, happy day.
Oh, well, everybody went in different directions there.
We always raced him.
Leon, the river, Leon Bridges. You ever heard that song? Fantastic.
Violin, bass guitar, and percussion. Y'all remember that?
Okay.
Just
Motherfuckers
that?
spitting Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. Okay.
I just bought that vinyl soundtrack.
Yes. Just to get Jennifer Love Hewitt on the background.
In case you
vocal.
are a sister. Man, we all
Great
stopped
vinyl.
out.
Jesus, why? I get down with G.O.D., yeah, you know me.
Oh, goodness. That's the one we got to review next. But yeah, this is also the shortest Friday the 13th movie at 86 minutes long. It was filmed over the course of 40 days. And it's also the second film, along with the original, to actually take place on Friday the 13th.
I think there's an illusion in the movie. They're like, do you know what day it is?
Or they keep
So I don't think they
fucking
ever
saying it, don't they?
But they
It's
never
so
tell you
bad.
explicitly that it's Friday the 13th, do they?
Yeah, oh
They
yeah,
do.
they do. Yeah,
The
a couple
dead
times.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, almost like it.
You know
more
what day
than,
it is,
more than
right?
one. Yeah.
Inexplicably, why the fuck is he hunting people on like a random day that occurs different months of the year, twice a year?
I think the deputy says, of all days, this has to happen today. And the sheriff goes, what does that mean? It's Friday the 13th. Good God.
Gasp.
All right, guys. Without further ado, I think that covers all our interesting factoids we have to offer. What do you say we crack open this bitch?
Resurrection.
Shovels.
Somebody hand me the crowbar. We're gonna pop this coffin.
Hey, Nicky, what are you doing back there? Taking a dump? You better come back and stack a pee? Or vice versa?
Our story begins within the confines of a cemetery, where Tommy Jarvis and his co-conspirator Alan worked to unearth a body, and not just any body, the body of the man responsible for Tom's countless sleepless nights and waking nightmares, the maggot-consumed, worm-food body of Jason Voorhees. Convinced that destroying the final remains and mask of his nemesis will cure his psychosis, TJ exhumes the corpse, and in a fit of rage, impales the carcass over and over with a steel rod torn from a nearby fence. However, before he can burn the cadaver, a bolt of lightning strikes the makeshift spear, and life returns to the Crystal Lake Killer. That's right, boys and girls. Forget Frankenstein's monster. Jason lives. Unable to stop the now supernaturally resurrected murderer at the cost of Alan, his friend's life, Tommy escapes in his truck while Jason dons the mask once more, and so begins a new era of murder and mayhem.
Costume reveal. He spun to that camera.
This dude's all about whipping his damn eyes to the camera. It's like his patented move in this movie.
What about
Like,
that
motherfucker.
007 opening right there?
Yeah, that shit was
We didn't
slick.
really fucking
That made
talk
me
about
laugh.
it, but it
The
gets the
James
movie
Bond
started
intro.
on the right foot in terms of what to expect, like the
Yeah,
tone
I was
and
laughing
everything.
at that point. I was like, this is fucking weird for a Jason movie. What is he doing? But I do love the quick pivot, like who he's talking about. Like a cat, like if you hear somebody fart, a cat like whips its head really fast.
That's what I think of, yes.
Farting around a cat. It'll get him every time.
What about those beautiful brown eyes of Jason's when it zooms in on his fucking face? He has some really
Dude's
pretty
all about
eyes.
the eye
Dude.
work. Yeah, it's pretty all right. I like the fact that Jason was like chosen by Thor. Like he's fucking resurrected by the god of fucking thunder and lightning.
The director, not Thom, talked about how he wanted to make this like a callback to the Universal monster. That's why, like Frankenstein. I mean,
Yes, one I read pretty much said that that's where he's got like the Frankenstein version where he's kind of like a lumbering idiot. Is kind of more attuned to Jason than if you read the book Frankenstein. It's like he could speak and he learns and all kinds of shit like that. But he also said he drew from like vampire lore, Jason's weakness going back to his quote unquote home soil. So it's kind of a lot of tie-ins to the old Universal monsters.
What about this first kill with Jason like literally punching the heart out of a guy's chest?
This looked fucking great. I thought we were in for this kind of a movie.
Dude, it was so stylish too, the way he like dropped the body into his own casket that he just got out of. Thought it was so fucked up.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have like, every kill is gonna be super gnarly. I think this might be the last one of its kind.
No, it's got a few others, but this is
It doesn't have as gruesome.
this is the
as
thing.
though.
This is like the first time we've seen Jason's power as like a supernatural being. Like in the previous movies, he hasn't done anything like this. Like he's not literally punching somebody's heart out of their fucking chest.
Yeah, he's I like the fresh dug out of the ground Jason look, the zombified look. It's cool.
Yeah,
I think
it's the
it
look that a
definitely
lot of people associate
has
with
that
him
new
now.
power.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
This is like seeing it for the first time is just cool because, like I said, I had no memory of ever having seen this before.
seeing as how you're such a big fan of him, who do you want to talk about, Thom?
Oh, yes, I do. I know Mr. Thom Matthews from a different film that I actually do really enjoy, and that would be The Return of the Living Dead and its sequel, Return of the Living Dead 2. Great film.
Team both.
He's in.
Spoiler alert: he survives the first one. We'll go ahead and skip that one.
And I tried to find, some little tidbits. He's done a lot of one-episode stuff on just throw a dart at a TV show, probably in it. And another tidbit is he's close friends with George Clooney, came to stay with him in Los Angeles during the 80s, as they were both struggling actors.
You think he still hangs out with him?
I
Fuck
doubt it.
no fucking way.
Damn it.
Have you seen Thom Matthews recently?
Casamigos. Maybe he owns part of Casamigos, the tequila company.
Thom's fucking head looks like a thumb now. He's like, he's
I'm
literally
not looking
living
at
his,
modern
he's
pictures of
living
these
his
people,
fucking,
man.
his namesake.
I feel like there's that's a through line in the cast of the movie. There's a lot of people who've been in like one episode of a ton of random TV shows.
Maybe the same agent got this entire cast. They just been working those streets for those TV shows.
Casting directors, man, that's like one of those jobs. Like, how do you get that job? Do you have just like the biggest Rolodex?
And his buddy, Alan Hawes, I looked this guy up. His name is Ron Palio, I think, maybe. I only bring him up because he was in a film that I hope that we have this podcast long enough to cover this horror movie. And it is called Trees 2, The Root of All Evil.
Trees
2.
2.
It was
The
a sequel.
root.
We watched the first one.
This is the sequel.
So the first one has to be dissected first.
This is
Gotta
correct.
chop that one down. Holy shit. We did skip to Troll 2, so maybe we can make an exception for Tree 2. And you telling me Popeye the Slayer Man is not going to be a fucking banger?
Well,
Okay.
I
Tree
mean,
2, though.
it's going up against Trees 2, The Root of All Evil.
It's actually an origin story for, was it Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory? But yeah, I do like this guy. He's got a cool look. I love the denim jacket, man. It's just so fucking 1986, bro.
With it's got like the sheep fur inner lining.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like he should be like on a motorcycle going to Top Gun after he finishes dealing with old Jason.
I think denim jackets are making a comeback.
Yeah, I think so too. This is like the sheepskin, whatever the hell you want. I don't even know what it's called, but I feel like you see it all the time in like zombies, survival, horror stuff too. Just like a cool winter look, man. Even though this movie is humid as hell, I don't know why he's in that jacket all the time.
The only other person I want to talk about at this point is C.J. Graham as Jason. Former U.S. military. He was cast as Jason as a last-second replacement because the initial Jason, Dan Bradley, wasn't delivering the performance that Tom McLaughlin desired and was known as Bitch Tits Jason.
Bitch tits
Was
Jason.
that a set nickname?
We actually
That can't be real.
we see him still in the fucking movie. He's like the Jason that is there during I don't know if it's all of the paintball scene, but at least parts of the paintball scene. And you can just tell by his physique
Damn it, I gotta rewatch that
that he
now.
is this is
He's
totally
chesty.
different. He's very chesty, but he's not shaped as traditionally
Around craft
powerful
services a little bit longer than the rest of the crew.
as CJ Graham is.
Well, if
Hey, we getting that Panera bread before we start shooting today or what?
I feel bad for him because this CJ dude is way too jacked.
Yeah, I thought he was like really trim, like noticeably trim. Like he looked like he was in great
He
shape.
was slick. He
version
had
that-
like a very like military build.
He looks like a damn wrestling action figure. There's a shot, there's a full frame, and I don't mean to say this, but I have to, of Jason's ass and thighs. It's just one frame, and it's chiseled.
Nice. Look at Schwarzenegger standing there.
I'm like, isn't this guy like is a zombie?
Isn't he like rotting corpse? Shouldn't he have some like atrophy now? Like his muscles should be like sunk in?
I think he's getting bigger.
No, he's been hip thrusting in that damn coffin for 20 years. That's all you can do, really.
Tommy races for the local sheriff's office with Jason doing his best speed-walking middle-aged mom impression in pursuit. Fence spear in hand. Unable to convince the local PDs of their impending doom, the former psych patient is locked in a cell while Sheriff Garris and his lackey Rick ignore the situation. Meanwhile, Jason terrorizes a couple of lead camp counselors, Darren and Elizabeth, to their demise, leaving their subordinates to fail miserably at organizing the search party. The local authorities back at the station. Tommy warns the counselors of what he's seen, but just like before, his pleas fall on deaf ears. Tired of the young man's derangement, Garris loads Jarvis back into his truck to personally escort him outside of his jurisdiction as the campers head back to Camp Forest Green. We haven't talked about it, but there is no more Crystal Lake.
No more
Crystal
of this
Lake
Camp
is now
Blood
known
shit.
as Forest Green to try and put the images of the past, put all the
Make it more
murders and
chipper,
madness to fucking bed with
So
the
how long has
name.
it been at this point since Tommy hacked his head up? Like 15 years, maybe.
Let's see, it was only like what 4 years, 5 years from part 4 to 5. I think it said he was in the psych ward or whatever for like 4 or 5 years. At this point, it looks like Tommy's like
Mid-20s at least. man.
mid-20s, late 20s maybe.
Let's say it's been 10 years. You're telling me there's no working memory in this community of all this crazy shit?
Oh, no,
that's
they
happening?
all remember it. Like, they all talk about it.
Trying to
But the young
forget.
kids pretend like it's not. That didn't really happen. It's all like folklore.
Well, you know,
it's been like it's been 50 years.
You know how young kids are, though. If it's been like 15, 20 years since the last like set of murders,
They've
it's
been on
like,
TikTok.
They don't fucking
just
care.
have no
Why would
fucking
they care?
concept of history. Yeah, them rebranding Crystal Lake is a little offensive. I think when I read it was kind of, they threw that in there also as a way to kind of account for the fact that this is shot in the southeast as opposed to the northeast where it's always been shot before. So it accounts for more vegetation, more of a humid environment, I guess. More greenery. But yeah, this is the only person of note in this whole damn movie is in this little bit you just covered here. We're not going to talk about Tony Goldwyn.
Oh, as Darren?
Yeah.
I was shocked to see him in.
So was I. I was like, holy shit, it's this motherfucker from Ghost.
It was his first. This was his first credited role. Like a feature film role.
Everybody hates this dude in Ghost. He's fucking Patrick fucking Swayze's wife. You piece of shit.
Like we talked about him a lot during the Belko experiment episode.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
I don't know if we talked about.
He's also an
he's-
Oppenheimer from 2023.
Yeah, he was the voice of Tarzan in Disney. I don't know if we talked about that. That's
Oh, I
pretty
didn't
cool.
He
put
was
that
the
together.
voice.
Yeah, he's the voice of Tarzan.
I love it.
Talking about 99's Tarzan.
That's cool.
He'll always be Carl from fucking Ghost to me. Piece of shit.
Dude, the
Burn in hell.
dialogue
You got to get over it, Chris.
Burn in hell, Carl.
It's a character.
The dialogue he and Elizabeth, who's played by Nancy McCullum.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
Not Elizabeth.
No, just
Okay.
Elizabeth. Played by the director's wife, Nancy. That dialogue is so fucking good, right?
Yeah, it definitely felt like they blew a lot of their load here in the first few bits. They had that great kill scene, cool resurrection scene, had this great fucking dialogue with these camp counselors.
It's the first example of the movie kind of putting itself in its own crosshairs.
They reference horror movies in the movie. This is exactly what you don't do in a horror movie, right? Isn't that what she says? The
She
whole
does say
Amex
that.
commercial of it, that was fucking great,
Yeah, I
dude.
love that.
Amex, it like held for like 10 seconds of it floating in the little puddle. This shit was funny, man.
Outside of talking about Tony Goldwyn, David Kagan as Sheriff Garris, the only thing about him, dude, I can't help but see this guy's face and think that this is a prime example of the "we have ice cream at home" meme, but for like Donald Sutherland.
I wasn't getting any Sutherland vibes.
Dude, he looks just like
The dude
Donald
did not
Sutherland
register
in
at all.
fucking Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
I didn't get
Rest
that
in
either.
peace, Don. I guess that curly hair, man. It's like one of a kind, that Sutherland look.
Oh, and mustache.
Goofy looking.
We also meet our core camp counselors here. We have Megan, the prototypical blonde chick, Paula, prototypical like nerdy reserved chick, Sissy, the prototypical other person in the movie, and then Court.
Like the Valley Girl.
Court,
whatever.
yeah, Valley Girl.
Court.
And then Court was a dude who's actually the nephew of John Travolta. How fucking cool is that?
He had a look about him. I thought he was one of the guys that Adam Sandler used to use in all of his movies. He looked just like that guy. You know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
Just like that guy.
I was convinced. I was like, oh, this was his first movie
Yeah.
too.
That's,
And looked him up. Nothing.
Yeah, so
Grandma's
it's
Boy.
a really unique look.
Grandma's Boy, that guy,
Really
yeah.
unique look.
Tom Fridley was his name. Had jack shit on his Wikipedia.
We're doing.
I was like, I was fucking convinced that was that guy.
Are we doing the actor dump here for these?
Yeah,
two?
if you want to, go for it.
Oh,
I just want to introduce
because
the characters here because a lot of them are kind of paint by the numbers type
that
characters.
they definitely are.
Court is
I
like
saw-
the exception, but the rest of them are like paint by numbers.
I'll start at the top with Nikki, played by Darcy DeMoss, who was in Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no.
Oh, hell no.
And another film Joy might have on Steelbook, Alien Abduction, Intimate Secrets. And
See, I
yes,
was-
that is a soft core rom-com.
Yeah, I was
whatever
like
look.
reading her IMDb, and there was a lot of them in there that had
Wait a
names
second.
that were pretty.
There's an alien porno?
Well,
Like Xenomorph?
I don't know.
Oh, I guarantee there is.
Ah, that probably is.
She was also
Fuck.
in Can't Buy Me Love, so I don't know why the fuck you wouldn't talk about Can't Buy Me Love.
Well, I mean,
I
if
thought
somebody
it was-
goes on a
yeah.
softcore porn, fork in the road,
Bow chicka bow.
you gotta
wow.
talk about it.
Hey,
It's true.
remember we discovered whose filmography was it?
Fright Night guy.
From Fright Night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That poor guy.
that was a damn. I was like, fuck, this dude did a lot of movies.
Had a bit of. Oh, you said the names too. The names are so bad.
Started clicking on them. There were some rough ones. Shout out to that guy.
Court, played by Tom Felton, talked about, was in his uncle's film Face Off with who, guys? You two can say.
Nick Cage.
Thomas Jane.
Yes.
Oh,
Is it
Thomas
Thom?
Jane
Yes.
was in that?
Thom Jane is one of the prisoners, yeah.
God, it's another film.
We're going to call him Thom from now on.
Sissy, played by Renee Jones, was in Days of Our Lives for 1,752 episodes.
Like 30
fucking
years.
work.
Like 30 plus years.
Might be all of them. I'm not sure.
There's no doubt we had to encounter her. My grandma watched the fuck out of that one. Like when you got home from school, that was what was on TV.
Mine was Young and the Restless. Like,
It's like a war, man. It's like Pepsi and Coke. It's like, what the fuck? You like that trash? Fucking Days of Our Lives, where's that, dog? Marlena got fucking possessed by a
What's
demon,
that one where
bro.
that puppet turns to like a real boy or some shit? And he,
Timmy, that was from Passion.
he eventually
Passion,
goes
yeah.
on to star in the fucking Grinch movie.
I hate Christmas.
Yeah, he passed away. He passed away young. Rest in peace, Timmy.
poor guy.
A lovely family heirloom. I love
Santa.
that, man. Santa, bye-bye.
And last but not least, Megan, played by Jennifer Cook, who apparently, this was her last film, fellas. She retired.
Yeah,
She
she
retired.
started popping
She
out
went out.
babies
Found
and
her.
getting married and shit. She said, fuck it, I'm done with this.
She did. She became a
Oh,
baby
yeah.
factory and hired a man who specialized in tea and to this day helps him run his tea company.
What the fuck?
You're welcome.
Repeat
No,
that.
she got married to him. This idiot said she hired him. But
I heard she hired as well.
He meant she married him.
I was like, wait, she hired him to do what? To make a single cup? He just made a whole empire out of it. It's the greatest fucking tea she'd ever had. She invested millions.
I
all
just blew my,
I bet you make her
fucking
as well.
load. I'm about to fucking come all over this kumquat.
You ever been to Starbucks and they just make their fucking coffee like fucking on tap? Shit.
Yeah,
You ever had a damn tea that made you squirt across the fucking room?
Ugh.
She's into big tea. So
Hell yeah, I might have had her brew and not even known it.
We get one of the best lines in the movie too, right here from Martin, the gravekeeper, played by Bob Larkin. Didn't really get around to looking up Bob's IMDb, so no,
He didn't necessarily pop.
no disrespect,
on the,
Bob,
Search.
but why'd they have to go and dig up Jason? Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment. And as soon as he says, he looks right at the camera, like right at the
Yes.
crowd,
Was
right at
not
the
expecting
audience.
that
Oh, that's
either.
so good.
is he drinking Mad Dog 2020?
He's drinking something. He's getting fucked up this entire
He
movie.
loves
Cheap
it.
shit.
The next day, on Friday the 13th, the kiddies show up to camp, leaving the unprepared counselors to fend for themselves. Nearby, a friendly game of corporate paintball turns deadly as Jason makes the rounds, adding to his body count with 5 more figurative scalps, while Tommy makes one more bold move in an attempt to shed light on the trouble he's caused, leading the Law Dogs on a chase through the cemetery to Jason's grave, unfortunately refilled by the gravekeeper Martin. Tommy is locked in handcuffs and officially cast out of Forest Green, under penalty of arrest and castration should he return. That night, the numbers really start to pile up as Jason takes out Martin and a couple of lovers in the forest, shish kebab style, as the campers sleep and the counselors wind down for the evening in their bunk, except for Court, Megan. So,
Because they going to be fucking.
they gonna be fucked. Dude, when he caught Martin's liquor bottle out of the air, when he threw it behind him, and broke it by fucking squeezing it in his hand and like stabbing him in the throat. Dude, how sick was that?
That's pretty fucking gnarly for Jason to pull that off.
Like here's the scene I talked about a little bit earlier. You have this corporate gathering, this like team building exercise of like a paintball tournament. One of the characters gets very, very upset that he got, shot and knocked out of the tournament, and he's hacking away at shit with a machete. Just taking his anger out on the trees. Jason sneaks up, grabs the arm with the machete, tears the fucking arm off, and kills the guy, right?
Yeah.
There's a scene where Jason looks over at the arm in his hand, where the machete is as well, and he just stares at it, and is surprised himself that he was that strong and that powerful to tear somebody's fucking arm off.
He's like rediscovering his body. This is probably like a stand-in for.
He's like
a young boy
realizing how
discovering
powerful he
puberty.
is, It's like he's reborn as this unstoppable fucking supernatural behemoth.
Deadite.
I love that's one of the scenes I remember seeing from a while back. I love that scene.
So I got a theory that this movie is like the Thor Ragnarok of the 80s horror villain icon movies. Like it completely reinvents his character from what we've seen before. You know, like Thor was super fucking serious until Taika Waititi like made it funny and like it changed exactly everything that character is about.
Good point.
And this dude even gets struck by lightning for it to happen. And that so they abandoned this thread going forward. This could have been such a fucking better franchise if they would have leaned into this.
And then there's a triple decapitation with that machete.
Hell yeah, he just lines them up.
He lines them up and cuts all three of their fucking heads off in one fell swoop.
So that's the scene that the special effects coordinator said that they shot, and to him it looked great. All the heads popped off. The effect was great, and he described how he did it. But supposedly the director also said that it didn't look good. Why he cut it out.
He blamed it on the MPAA, but he was like, yeah, that was actually a dog shit scene there. This scene itself kind of felt like it was like when I initially read the comment that they had added kills in for just to bump up the kill count. I kind of thought this might be one because it seems like just so fucking random to just, you discover these characters already in the middle of this little paintball thing they got going on. Like there's no context of who they are and they get dealt with within 5 minutes and you just move on.
And there's no context of how they got in those woods. Were those paintball guns rented from somewhere?
Are they based out of something, right? Is it like an attachment of Camp Crystal Lake or Green Forest, whatever the hell it's called now?
Maybe we're thinking too deeply.
It was fun, though. It was like literally, like I cracked up at like, especially the nerdy CEO, or not CEO, but whoever the corporate guy was, who was like slinking around like he was damn Ernest P. Worrell.
Yeah, that's Roy. He eventually, his attitude, he's not killed at this point, but his ass like chopped into a bunch of little pieces off camera.
Yeah. So fucking goofy.
It's very Police like Academy movies. Like that scene.
Yeah. Like the score there is even like whimsical. Like it's goofy. It's like Twinkle Toes things going on.
Inside a camper near the grounds, Court cozies up with local Nikki till a mysterious electrical mishap leads the duo outside long enough for the J-Man to sneak aboard, smashing Nikki's head cartoon style through the side of the RV as the lovers wisely choose to flee the cryptic scene. Not long after, the vehicle is sent airborne as Jason goes Rambo 2, stabbing Court through the side of his head with a Bowie knife, leaving only Jason alive and heading for Camp Forest Green. Back at the station, Megan intercepts a call from Tommy, intended for her dad, the sheriff. The two decide to rendezvous in secret as the entire police force gathers to pursue Jarvis as Jason's victims begin to be discovered, and Tom J's the prime suspect. Back at CFG, Jason continues his spree, tearing Sissy's head from her shoulders, stalking Paula and her young camper companion Nancy. After yet another ill-advised police chase, Tommy and Megan are corralled back at the police headquarters, with Jarvis once again thrown into a cell, and Garrus heads off to warn the survivors of Camp Forest Green after the discovery of the bodies of Court. Lot to unpack here. When Sissy has her head fucking yanked off, he literally turns her fucking head around all the way 180 degrees and her eyes roll back. That was such a cool effect in my opinion. I thought that, and the sound design there of like just the meat like tearing and the bone just breaking. Oh, it was so powerful.
She's also in a Baker Mayfield jersey.
Oh, she did say Baker on the back, didn't she?
Baking time. If you understand, like initially she was supposed to just like go outside and then you see her head later on in a car or whatever. But they added all the actual decapitations and saw that after the fact. So
my favorite scene in this film is the camper.
The head through the sheet metal. It looks fucking cool.
God,
Frightener style.
Everything in it was great, man.
You get the weird, like almost sex scene with some knockoff Bruce Springsteen playing in the background. That place is rocking. And then
so you can't come until the end of the song. You got to hold out.
How long is this song? 10 more minutes. This motherfucker, God damn, I'm about to bust.
Apparently,
it's a new standard, boys.
Apparently, in that scene, you're supposed to be able to hear Court take a condom off because the
you
director
can hear it.
wanted.
It's got that fucking slapping sound.
It's got that snap like a good hot dog. Just snap it in half.
The director wanted to portray safe sex in the film. Couldn't show any sex,
okay.
but wanted to portray safe sex.
I appreciate that.
But when he's driving that damn camper, what looks
she's
like
flailing
around,
mile an hour. Dude, she's flailing around. It was fucking comedy gold. It had me rolling. And then
He said, "Were you taking a big shit back there?"
and hey Nikki, what are you doing back there? Taking a dump? And this motherfucker says, "Can I join you?" Like, what the fuck are they talking about, dude? But when
He said, "Can I snatch a peek?" Or maybe vice versa.
what the fuck's that mean? You got
Peek a snatch.
Oh my man, that's pretty good actually.
He wants to see the vagina.
Okay.
Ah, see,
He's
had me
making
roll.
love
I didn't
to
put
her,
that
but he
together.
still
That's
wants to
pretty
see her
good.
vagina.
Dude, but when I realized Jason had snuck inside the bathroom, I just imagine him flailing inside that motherfucker too. Like it made it all the sweeter, man. Imagine this motherfucker just
This
bouncing
shit was
around.
funny, man.
That's why it took him
I
so
wish
long
they
to
would've
grab
kept this,
Nikki,
man.
is because he was fucking flailing around too.
Could we not have gotten a shot at Jason just smacking the fucking bathroom walls?
Whacking his head against the fucking wall.
Dude, I had the movie pause too. Like right when the girl tells him he can't buzz for 10 minutes, you should see Court's face. It was like, huh? He's like this. He's like,
You got about 10 seconds, girl.
10 more minutes, motherfucker. That's 10 minutes ago.
About that.
And I guess
I'm going to need another condom.
Jason stole this Rambo knife off of one of the paintball boys.
I guess.
But
That's pretty fucking badass, though. He has like no regard for his own safety. He just stabs a dude driving the fucking thing at 100 miles an hour. I do like the shot of him standing on top of the burning RV, too.
Yeah, it's just sick, man. It was like some shit from Mad Max. Dude, when
supposedly-
Jason pulls Sissy out of the fucking window and pulls her out of her slippers.
Looney Tune shit.
Supposedly, they only had one camper, and the director was freaked out about that scene had to be perfect because they only had one shot. So,
Oh, the actual wrecking the camper. Yeah, that was pretty dope. I thought it looked good.
and he was saying how much. I actually kind of enjoyed how in depth he went. That they had when those scenes happen, they have to pack the inside of that camper with so much padding and styrofoam and just like shit to protect the actual driver of the camper for the
Yeah.
impact.
Also, I thought this was something that was pretty cool and interesting about this one. Is this the first Friday the 13th where there's actually children at camp as opposed to just the counselors?
Like it.
Like, add some more stakes to it. And I was like, this is actually fucking, like, they made this funny and they actually made it, like, even more dangerous
was an
and
actual
scary than we
camp.
used to.
As opposed to just like an excuse
It's
for a
always
bunch
like
of
the night
teenagers
before
to
the
get
kids
together.
get
Well,
there. Right. Exactly. They were actually, like, little kids here.
Well, speaking of the campers, like when Jason's like walking by them as they're sleeping with Sissy's headless fucking body slumped over his
Yeah.
shoulder, and
Thrown
you
over
can
the
see him
shoulder,
through
it
the
looked
window
good.
walking by. Dude, that was so
Yeah. The headless body looked good.
Oh.
As much as they cut away from the actual effects during the killing, the after effects are usually pretty good here.
At Camp Forest Green, Paula lays Nancy to rest at the children's cabin, while Jason lays her to rest back at the counselors, just as Tommy and Megan make a getaway to the detriment of Deputy Rick. Hell-bent on finishing what he started, Jarvis, along with his blonde sidekick, head to camp for a final confrontation with his adversary, an adversary making mincemeat of the newly arrived police force. The arrival of Tommy and Megan finds the campers unharmed, with several officers dead, Jason in pursuit of the lone survivor, Sheriff Garris. Distracted by the screams of the sheriff's daughter after discovery of her friend's dismembered head, Jason turns his attention to her, drawing Garris from his hiding place. The two do battle, ending as Jason folds the lawman in half, leaving the resurrected madman to confront the final two survivors by Crystal Lake. Dude, this folding the fucking sheriff in half.
I had to rewind that one. I was like, what the fuck exactly happened here?
It was so wild how that played out because it's like the tables were turning, right? Like Garris popped out of his hiding spot because he was trying to save his daughter. And he literally got Jason on his back and was bashing his fucking brains in with a rock.
Yeah,
All of a
after
sudden,
this.
he springs back and folds this motherfucker backwards. Over his, it's like just folding an accordion. Just folds him backwards. Oh, man. Dude, snapping his
Garris.
spine, that was fucking sick.
Garris talked about how they pulled that off, and it sounds so bad. That there was an actor who was laying down, and they buried him kind of like in a hole, and Garris sat on top of him, which I assume he sat on top of him with his taint, and then when he laid back, made it look like he folded. He was just sitting on another dude,
So that wasn't prosthetics. That was actually two human beings just cleverly hidden
making a
on
taco.
top of each other. So it was like a human centipede situation.
Oh,
Mm. His legs are turned this way. He had his mouth on my asshole. But yeah, the whole like or when Megan and Tommy are headed to the camp for the first time, and he's like in her crutch. Like they played that for like probably a few beats too long, but that shit was pretty goofy too. It was really charming. Tommy was like, "I don't mind the view down here." I was like, "Is this really Corey Feldman? Is this really Corey grown up?"
Damn, bitch, lay off the salmon.
There's lots of shots at her pants. I didn't.
A lot of the crotch shots.
It's just looking at a pair of jeans. I didn't understand.
Yeah, I was like, he's just thinking about, I don't know, going pearl diving after this. I don't know.
You're a couple layers away, bud.
Yeah, it was like lighthearted. It was rated PG-13 fun, just like the sex with no nudity.
I really like the look of the camp counselor's bunk being like covered in fucking blood, like literally drowned in blood. Like anytime,
some
like when
Terrifier
Garrus
shit,
went there
dude.
looked and Megan looked, because it was alluded to how Paula died, but yeah, just to see the entire bunk soaked in blood, it leaves the kill to the imagination, which in this scene or in this environment is pretty powerful. Like, because at this point we know he's transcended like being just an otherworldly strong human to being a supernaturally powerful
God of thunder.
Just like a monster, he's literally a monster now.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty shocked when they saw all that go on inside, because I think, like, every time I think of Jason, I think of, he's like a one-hit kill type of dude, Like, he gets you with the machete, he gets one hack, you're done. He's not one to, like, torture his victims. But when you see that damn cabin, it looks like he went fucking Art the Clown on somebody. And the guy from earlier, the nerdy guy we were talking about, part of the CEO retreat or whatever, like, he dismembered that dude. He was in, like, 20 pieces.
He's having fun.
Like a different animal with Jason now. He's having he's actually like enjoying his craft, leaning more on like the Freddy Krueger style things. It's not just the kill, it's the power.
The last thing I'll talk about during this is when Garrus is shooting Jason with the shotgun and the revolver, and he would go down, and then the music would get really shrill and like high pitched, and he would just pop back up, and he just kept doing this shit over and over and over.
Yeah, crap. It was obviously like he was not getting shot with anything. The actor was just like, "All right, stand up, fall back down, get up, fall back down." They didn't even pretend like he was getting hit with anything.
Not at all. There was no like force at all. It was literally just fall over. Back.
No effects work at all. Just good acting.
Great acting from a Marine.
Solid.
After a close call between Jason and Megan, Tommy is able to coax the behemoth into the middle of the lake. And a fire-soaked final duel that leaves the freshly resurrected killer chained to a rock and suspended at the bottom of Crystal Lake, Tom's body floating face down among the flames. Upon Megan's rescue attempt, she's grabbed by Jason, her rescue and Jason's defeat coming by way of the spinning propeller of Tommy's destroyed boat. On land, some cardiopulmonary resuscitation brings our hero back to life, and the two survivors embrace as Jason's body lies motionless at the bottom of his original resting place. Or does it? So ends Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. Alright, now it seems like I glossed over this whole, like, final battle.
Just a tidbit.
In the lake, right? There was a lot of build-up in this scene. A lot of build-up. For not a lot of payoff.
Like a Rocky and Apollo Creed, man.
When Jason is caught between going after Megan or Tommy, but it's not until Tommy calls him a pussy that Jason's like, "Oh, fuck."
I got this whole sequence here. If you want me to read it off.
Oh, let's hear.
Hey, asshole! It's me you want. Remember? Come on, chicken shit! Come on! I'm standing here waiting. Come on, you pussy! Insane.
And that whole time, Jason's walking to Megan, but until he hears that P word, he's like, "Oh shit!
Oh, pussy!
Shit.
Pussy!"
That's what my daddy used to call me. Did you notice a little bit earlier, Jason, with the darts? The dude is slick as fuck with a damn dart throw, man.
When he hits that cop right in the forehead,
that from like 60 feet away, he just fucking domes him.
Keeps on walking.
That was a badass kill, man. But yeah, him and Tommy, it's like fucking Rocky and Apollo Creed, man. They're hyping this shit up. You think it's going to be like a boxing match.
I like the shot of Jason walking into the water, just like the natural decrease.
He's like nonplussed. He's like, "Oh, whatever. I'm just gonna go underwater and fuck your shit up." And they did the whole ring of fire around the boat and get the illusions back to the OG with the old girl at the boat at the end of the movie.
I don't want to be called dumb, but it's okay. Is it that easy to pour gasoline onto water and set it on fire?
Yeah, it's like oil. It's like oil sitting on like the
I know
ocean.
oil and water separate.
Yeah.
I don't know how gas. I guess it depends on the viscousness.
You remember when Granny?
Oh, however the gas is
you
mixed.
remember when Granny was pouring gas on an open fire? Was you
God
there for
almighty.
that?
Oh, yes,
That's
that's that
safe.
redneck shit right
She
there.
poured gas
man.
on open fire. That fucking gas, like she was holding the
Boom.
fucking gas tank, was still, or the gas can was still holding it while it was on fire. Everybody's hollering at her to throw the motherfucker. She's refusing to throw it.
I have no fucking idea
Oh.
what you're talking
You
about.
wanna
Is
waste
Some
gas?
shit
Does
happened
this really
back in the
happen?
day. Yeah, for real. Don't know why she decided to do that shit.
Just to see what would happen. This fire is burning slow as fuck.
Well, I mean, if you got a good old fashioned, backwoods bonfire, you just kind of sling the gas on. You don't
They was
hold it.
burning. They was just burning fucking
you just pour it
trash
slowly
or
on
something.
top.
Fuck the
Yeah,
ozone.
that sounds about right.
Dude,
that sounds like some of my childhood I might have
When
repressed.
Megan's ass saw Tommy drown in the lake and she's running towards the fucking dock, she gets on the side of the dock and just fucking dolphin dives off the side of that motherfucker. Dude, that shit had me laughing. I had to go back and rewatch that 3 or 4 times.
She fell in love with that boy. It's the damn denim jacket. That's all it is. She just wanted to coach. She said, fuck Tommy.
And then one of the fucking coolest scenes in this entire movie is when the kids are like all corralled into like a bunk, right? And Jason bursts through the door like after the kids.
Yeah. He comes running
Dude,
in.
that shit was crazy. Because it comes out of fucking nowhere.
I'm not gonna
Yeah, I was
lie.
curious how he was going to interact with the kids.
Yeah, that was the actual tension for me.
Yeah, like I said, this is like a first for us with Jason. Like, there's actual children at the camp. I was like, this could go either way. I really don't know.
There's like the camp, the whole
This is
camp,
like
the whole
craze, I
thing about
guess.
the camp is the kids. And this is the first time we're ever seeing the kids.
It's always like the night before he fucking breaks. The kids come in on Saturdays. I guess it's always Friday, right? Friday the 13th. Kids always get there on Saturday morning. One Saturday morning, you just find all your dead counselors.
So this is the film because last year there was this fad where people were getting these Jason figurines and dumping them in like a glass of water and recreating the Jason under the water being held by a chain.
Under the sea.
This is,
This was like a diorama in people's houses or something. They're
yeah,
making?
I think Elder Hootie has one.
Oh, cool. So it's designed to be like displayed that way.
Yeah, it's like a jar, and inside it's Jason floating from his little chain.
You get the little chain on his ankle or whatever. That's cool. It's pretty fucking dope. Is he blinking and shit underwater?
I think it lights up. I don't think his eyes light up. I'm sure
Speaking
you
of that,
can trick it.
yeah, there's probably a good way to do that. In one ending, Jason's mask floats to the surface of Crystal Lake, having become detached in his struggle with Megan. In another, Deputy Cologne tries to reach the jail cell keys after being locked in by Tommy and Megan, and the door to the police station opens and the film abruptly ends, indicating that Jason managed to get free. So there's 3 ending shot for this movie.
How does the next installment start?
I have no idea.
No, Jason under the water.
Also,
Part
it does.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, so it does.
What's it called? What's the
New
subtitle?
blood.
New Blood. Okay. And then we go to Manhattan. Then we go
It
to
starts
hell,
off with a
and we go to
telekinetic
space.
girl.
Oh, I remember this one.
Shit.
Actually,
I have no memory of that one either.
it ain't good.
Nah, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
Well,
This is pretty good.
Jason with that
We're about to
eyeball
find
under the
out
water.
who thinks it's good.
Is that how we got,
Let's do
boys?
it.
Ready to move
Yeah,
on?
let's
Ready
do
to
it.
wrap her up? We're ready to wrap a chain around this movie and throw it into Camp
Wrap
Crystal
this
Lake
bitch.
for another day. All right, fellas, what piece of memorabilia do you want from Friday the 13th, Part 6? Josh Lives.
Dude, I want that big ass log chain Tommy uses to drown Jason.
That was a thick ass
Look
chain.
like
How much you think
be
it weighs?
looking like Rocky 2, Mr. T and Rampage Jackson, boy.
How much you think it weighs? 50
Oh, that's
pounds?
a big boy. That right there got to be 50 or 60 at least.
log
I mean, The
chain's
Rock is
heavy.
the thing that keeps his ass down, but it's like that's a thick bitch.
I like how. Well, I think you may have touched on it, but Tommy learned how to this trick from a bunch of satanic books he picked up at the
Yeah,
drugstore.
we didn't really talk about that. He was
The library.
He had a lot
The
of
library.
like occultist
He went to the
material.
public library. You
Checked
got
out
Jason 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on Blu-ray.
couple of demonic books.
Oh, I like how like if you watch that scene, like he opens the book when he's in a vehicle or whatever, and he goes to the table of contents, and he scans, and he's like, oh, and he turns to the page. Within 30 seconds, he knows how to defeat. It's like, oh fuck, is this how you kill Jason Voorhees? Okay, page 8. Yeah, fucking got it.
Probably didn't ever check the book out.
No research. He could have done that standing in the fucking library. Or whatever. He didn't have to. He literally read the fucking Spark Notes for how to kill Jason Voorhees. But for me personally, I've done said it 20 times. Give me Tommy's motherfucking denim jacket, dude. That thing looked warm as fuck.
It was nice.
I liked it.
I had two options, and I knew somebody was going to get the damn jacket before I did. So, without the jacket, let me get the random 6-shooter with the Pringles can for a sniper red dot scope.
Yeah,
that the deputy had.
I didn't even.
I meant to ask Joey about that. What was that goofy looking shit?
What do you mean? It was a big ass red dot on top of it.
A custom like red dot.
That's how red
dots
dots used to be
revolver?
because they the battery packs. You had to think about it like batteries back in '86. You had to have a battery big enough to support like a fucking laser beam.
So that was a
So
real
he was
thing.
popping
then.
like
yeah,
double A's
yeah,
in
that
there.
was real.
Whoa.
He was popping like double A batteries in there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's at least D's.
At least D's.
At least fucking D's, bitch. Those
Take 'em out of your mag light.
Y'all heard?
Put him into your pistol.
Yeah, what's the
Hell
D's
yeah.
on?
It was a revolver though. People put fucking red dots on revolvers.
Hey, that
He
motherfucker
did.
did. He said, where the red dot sits, ya bang.
That's such a
I think
bad
it was
line.
bang.
Ya bang.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't get the punchline there. All right, that being said, grade book's out. We'll let it grades. Mr. Hootie, what did you think about Friday the 13th, Part 6?
Well, Jason Lives is a film I did not view a lot in my youth, probably because they blend together after a certain point until Manhattan, for obvious reasons. Here I have seen Part 3 and 4 the most by far, with 4 to this point being my favorite of the franchise, just like Rocky. The acting is as good as you would expect, while the directing was decent considering how handcuffed he was by the NPAA, allegedly. With the film cutting away from every death scene possible, it makes it hard to respect considering where the franchise began with Savini's amazing special effects in the first film. Tommy Jarvis was a cool character, but I am glad to see that this is his last appearance in the franchise. I'm over this character, I get it, move on with new blood. And with that, I give this film a C.
Hootie ready for the new blood? All right, for me, Jason Lives is where this franchise decides to get meta and weird. And honestly, that totally worked for me. After that embarrassingly bloodless Part 5, this entry brings back Tommy Jarvis and resurrects Jason in the most badass way possible. What sets this apart is how self-aware the movie is. Jason is a walking slasher movie punchline at this point. He's less human and more unstoppable murder machine than ever before. Body count is very high, and there's this weird dark comedy undercurrent that keeps things from getting too grim. It just made this a fun watch for me. Practical effects were fine, solid enough. I did hate that they cut away from a lot of the work, but Tom Savini's influence, I think, is still there in a lot of the aesthetics that we actually did get on screen. Jason looks cool, pretty terrifying, more zombie than human, and that iconic hockey mask looks as good as ever. In this one, I don't think we even mentioned that, but I do like the look of this mask. Is this groundbreaking cinema? Hell no. But as far as 80s slasher sequels go, Jason Lives knows exactly what it is, a fun, gory romp that understands the genre's ridiculous conventions and leans all the way into them. And for that, Mr. Tom McLaughlin leaves my class with a B+. This was fun.
Leaving me to wrap this bitch up. Coming off of Friday the 13th 5, A New Beginning, all hope seemed lost. A franchise in shambles, directionless, headed for the toilet. But a shining beacon of hope appears. As Part 6, Jason Lives, sees the legend resurrected and the franchise saved. For at least a few more films anyway. The first Friday the 13th movie to drop the straightforward horror slasher pretense and finally have a little bit of fun with its dialogue, its execution, its campiness, its killer, as well as the use of meta elements throughout. Friday the 13th Part 6 is what many people think of when they hear that infamous The mythos we've come to know is gone as the unkillable Franken-Jason is born and becomes the unstoppable force of nature we see from here on out. The believability of the kills is thrown to the wind. The cornballness is turned to 10. There's comedy, there's gore, there's self-awareness. If there is a single Friday the 13th movie that you can introduce to a non-horror fan and have them fall in love with this franchise, then Jason Lives is that movie. All that and a kick-ass theme song by Alice Cooper. What's not to like? Friday the 13th Part 6 grades out with a B. Jason Lives, and it feels so damn good.
Hell yeah. I was the highest on this one, huh? Might be my favorite one, honestly. To this
I
point.
still like 4.
That's better than the 4.
This one was just fun.
Yeah,
dude.
this is literally...
I really wish they would have kept this tone.
They threw everything out and then just fucking kept it rolling with this.
It's fresh, man. Give me that freshness. All right, I'm going to recap our audience score guesses from Rotten Tomatoes for Jason Lives. If you're new to the show, we take stabs at this score. If we are within 5 points, we choose what to watch next. But since this was a mandatory assignment, we are playing for absolutely no reason at all. But anyway, starting with the high man, Joey said this would be at a 100%
Fuck, I forgot I did that.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well,
Did I win?
perfect film.
Mr. Joey won. It was actually a 103.
Holy shit.
Mr. Hootie said a 55. I said a 45%. The actual audience score was at a 53. So, Captain Hootie would have been right on cue.
As usual.
Alas, no prize for you, sir. So, going back to the well, the last time we played this game for stakes, Joseph and I split, I believe. But again, that's going to have to wait for the second episode in a row. We got a mandatory one lining up for us. Every Christmas, we like to take a dive into one of the big boys, a little fella by the name of Freddy Cougar, as Joey might say. In our Nightmare Before Christmas series, we're going to be covering 1988's A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Master. Fuck the Dream Warriors, we're at the Master now, boys. Is this one I should be excited for, Hootie? This is, you're the resident Fred head.
It's three. Three really was quite a feat.
So I shouldn't expect the Jason Live situation here. Is that what you're telling me?
Quite a feat.
Setting him up and knocking him dead. All right, we're going to pull up the trailer on YouTube and watch it together. If you want to watch along with us and catch our reactions, you can do so through our YouTube channel. Otherwise, we will catch you back here on the podcast in a few short moments. So yeah, that was a trailer. Again, this is another movie we have to do. Not like it's not something we want to do, but since it's mandatory, we have nothing at stake. But we still take our stabs at that meter score on Rotten Tomatoes for the audience.
We'll go to
Where do you
fucking
think
zero.
that bad boy sits?
Fuck this
Zero, you
stupid
can't-
franchise. No, let me give like a.
You're trying to shit on
Let me give
2024,
like a
man.
40. I think this one's like. We're heading to
Shitsville.
we're heading to Shitsville with this one. What's the next
I'm
one?
gonna go
Dream
right-
Child.
I think that is next.
Yeah, we're heading to Shittsburg.
I'm going to go right in the middle. Going at
Shittsburg.
50.
I'm going to be the optimistic one and say a 60
Goodness
because it's
gracious.
Christmas. Christmas and fuck both of y'all. Let's see. It looks like you can find this here film streaming on Pluto TV if you're willing to watch some advertisements for free. So
Merry
there you
Christmas.
go. Merry flipping Christmas, you filthy animal. Also, of course, rent or buy wherever you choose to do those things. What is the word we're using for? Borrow from your local library.
Oh, yes.
It may be there. Thank you for listening. Check out horriblefilmschool.com. You'll find links to our episodes, social channels, and the merch store. As always, you can support us for free in 3 simple ways: rate, review, and subscribe. And if you are feeling generous, send us some paintballing gear?
Ooh,
Question mark.
we would love that.
That'd be cool. I am going to send my support to women working to achieve climax in tandem with their favorite songs. Put on Freebird and let's go.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, spread the love, spread the campaign that is the Horrible Film School. Hopefully there's a lot of Spotify and Amazon yearly wrap-ups and we made your top 5 podcast. If not, it's okay. We still love you. And it's the holiday season. Go to the shop. Pick out something for your loved one. Pick out something for somebody you hate. We don't care. Just buy something. And I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time, where dreams become nightmares. In 1988's A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Class dismissed.